Guni, por favor, fala um pouco pra gente de quando você começou com as constelações.
So I know Bert Hellinger from the very beginning of my professional life, from 1970, when he started the first trials with constellation. I experienced it already there, and I also started with Virginia Satir, and she developed the family reconstruction method that is also an approach where you represent family members by representatives and with roles. And when Bert developed his approach, I quite immediately connected these two approaches. So I never worked totally with his way, but his approach coming more to the essence, much more quickly. So I work with constellations since 1982 and went along with Bert. It was a slow developmental process. It needed 5 or 6 years till he really developed the orders of love.
E quando é que o seu trabalho se expandiu para as constelações estruturais?
We started together with Matthias and Insa, who are really connected with structural constellation work in Europe. But the starting point was a starting point together. We started to experiment with structures, with logical structures. We very quickly saw that within this approach is an incredible potential, and this opened up more and more and more and more. So we found out that especially with some formats of structural constellation work, you can go into nearly each area. We work a lot with symptoms. In a structural constellation way, maybe, you can set up body parts also with symptoms, just really the lung and the legs and the head or heart and so on. And then so many areas in pedagogic. You can use it in art. If a musician, for example, a composer, gets stuck on a certain point, it's sometimes incredible how immediately it opens up when you set up parts of the composition. When the director of a play starts to exercise with the actors a new play, then they sometimes now start with a constellation about the people in the script, and the actors can ask, and for the actors, the essence of this figure is coming out much deeper than before. So they tell us that they have to train sometimes 2 or 3 weeks less in justice, with judges, so family, especially family judges, perfect sometimes. In social work, supervision for cases, wonderful. We also set up dreams. Homeopaths people work a lot with constellation meanwhile. Or we also set up a homeopathic remedy. and explore the remedy, the quality of the remedy more. Oh, there's dreams, it's good. Fairy tales you can work. You can also work with systems of wholeness of different cultures. In the Indian, it's for example the chakra teachings. You can, the medicine wheel. In Europe, where there is the system, the consciousness system, more about body, soul, and mind, and maybe spirit, you can work with that a lot. And sure, in business, brand constellations are very, very well known meanwhile.
Há muita diferença entre as constelações familiares e as estruturais? Que diferenças são essas? Explica pouco isso para a gente.
The problem-solving structure, this that I introduced, I think it's the most helpful structure and helps nearly with each question or issue a client brings. And then there are some very simple structures like the theme, the excluded theme, and the client. Yeah. I think the essence of structural constellation work is more that in many, many aspects that feel problematic for us, that there is a layer insert that does not belong to certain inner parts of us, like you saw. So this to differentiate, for example, between universal love and biographical experience about love, yeah. So that love feels much smaller or feels burdened because of the biographical experience. To be able to differentiate that, for my feeling, is the most important thing about structural constellation work. And the preference of process before content, is that English? I don't know. Yeah. Maybe these are more, it's more a little bit a new way of thinking and to approach people. And for me, it is getting more and more important to bring in this kind of thinking that seems to be more healing than just doing family constellations and only focusing on the family. I'm more and more interested in collective themes to heal maybe, or to start to recognize hurts from the past that have influence to the present of a whole collective, of a whole society.
Parece que no seu trabalho elas se integram, é verdade?
Yeah, and in my own work, it's now a total mixture. Insa and Matthias made their own school, and this school is really opposite of the Hellinger school. So in Germany, they are really like one extreme and the other extreme. But normal facilitators, or many facilitators, they start to combine this more and more, what Christina and I did from the very beginning. And so nowadays, structural constellation work is not so separated from family constellation work. Slowly, I see many trainings in Germany who offer both in the same training. So And I see facilitators who use what we use since 15 years or so. No. And I think in 10 years nobody will speak about family constellation separate from structural constellation. I think there will be names like systemic constellation work or stuff like that.